Hi Phil, I'm Alan from ChatTalent, really nice to meet you. I wonder if you could tell the ChatTalent audience a little bit about who you are, who you work for and why you're here today.
Okay, nice to meet you, Alan, indeed. So I'm Phil Sargeant, the Vice President of Global Sales for People First, and we're here today to launch People First. It's the first time that we've ever taken ourselves out of the closet. We're here to celebrate everything that's happened up until this point and show the market what we're all about.
Excellent, excellent. So what are you hoping to get from the event?
So from this event in particular, we're really looking to find and expand our partner network. So People First is entirely reliant on the resellers, the distributors, the developers that come from our partners to help us go to market and to expand and develop the product. But also we're very open to initial inquiries, start looking at people that are interested in what we're about and what we're trying to achieve, and potentially consider that for their own businesses.
Excellent. I know you've been a busy man today on your stand. You've had people flocking from all corners to find out more about People First. Have you had any opportunity to see any of the sessions at all?
So one of the sessions that was resonating very much with our own ethos was that of Josh Bersin by Deloitte. So he's talking a lot about future of work and about finding the flow at work, really bringing the fun back into work to support performance and engagement and productivity. And that's everything that People First has been designed around. So our entire ethos and vision is about making work fun again through finding your flow at work. And of course, in that, starting to really engage yourself in your job rather than that being the responsibility of the HR organization.
Okay, excellent. So tell us more about the platform. You talked about bringing the enjoyment back into work. How does that manifest itself through People First?
Right, okay. So first and foremost, it's in a category of its own, a category we've defined as an open people platform. Essentially, it does everything that you'd imagine a conventional human capital management solution to do, so recruitment, onboarding, that kind of stuff, but it takes it a step further. It says, okay, we've got this great technology, we've got these great tools, but how can we really translate that into the lives of the employee? So we've also designed things like a virtual assistant chatbot that will help people with reminders or finding focus time, or even if that's just doing the mundane things like expense management, absence management, but it's in a chat client and proactively managed by a bot, right? So in that sense, the employee is not having to go and find a system to record that information. They're not having to talk to HR. It's just HR bot and the employee. And with that, you remove some of the distractions straight away. But the whole point of the actual application and platform itself is to provide insight for the employee so they can craft their own careers and jobs and actually manage their own engagement through the insights that they're given, and then how that bubbles up to the HR level so the HR can actually get a pulse check consistently on the morale, the expectations, the succession opportunities for the individual employees within the business. Realistically, Alan, there's a whole load of stuff in there that I could spend hours talking about, but the main emphasis is on actually giving the employee that bit more responsibility and that bit more visibility into their alignment with the company, which inevitably makes them feel a bit more a part of the company and makes them more engaged because they feel part of that community.
Excellent. So people look at the technology and the problem it solves for them, but people love a good story as well. How did People First come about? What encouraged the organisation to be launched? Right,
so it's actually a division of MHR International, which is a very well-renowned UK company, been around for 35 years. They have their kind of typical UK-based product set, and what happens is every 5-7 years or so within MHR, they really reconsider where they're at with regards to the technology that's available today, what they've learned over that generation, and what they need to do to continue to be competitive and successful moving forwards. And in fact, they actually started this project 3 years ago in one vein and realized that they were actually just replicating what they'd already done. They weren't really taking advantage of the technology that was out there today. They actually scrapped that entire project and 18 months ago started again, really focusing on what matters, putting the people first, and hence the name People First, right? Makes sense there. But what's happened over that time is they've worked with lots of resources across Microsoft Azure, who provide our platform as a service tools and technologies, and really going into the analysis and the information that's being provided from the likes of Bersin by Deloitte and the other analysts and researchers that are out there, and saying, okay, so how do we bring something together that's really going to satisfy the people, and made that the focus the whole way through, not considering their own agenda or objectives. While that's there, inevitably, the focus has always been, okay, stop. Is this actually supporting the people? Is this getting rid of the noise? Is this making work more fun? And that's kind of the story.
Excellent. And what kind of organisations are People First working with already, but are you going to be working with in the future as well?
It's open to everyone. We want to make it as accessible as possible because People First is an ethos and a vision and a way of working rather than just a software for a particular niche. So in that we can support companies of 1 employee up to 10,000 and beyond. It really doesn't matter. I think given where we are in our own journey, today being our launch with the official product launch in January, we've got to be realistic about the type of organizations that are going to be successful with People First in the first instance. So we're looking for those companies that have that cultural driven mentality, those that are really looking at engagement, those that are really considering the fact that putting people first directly impacts the bottom line and productivity. So typically we find those companies are maybe more forward thinking in their industries, perhaps a little bit on the smaller side, so it can be a bit more agile and flexible as to accommodating new practices. So something maybe under the 2,000 bracket, but also something that's maybe a little bit larger than 50 employees or 30 employees, for example, because in that they get to start to have the same issues that those kind of enterprises have, where they start to build up complexities in their HR organization. So that's kind of a broad spectrum, I admit, being a salesperson, that give you a lot to go after, but the reality is we just need to see that consumption and we need to start to see how it responds in those different categories, and then we'll start to build our sweet spot from there.
Excellent. Well, very much I want to wish you good luck with that. I think you've started to build something pretty amazing, and I know today has been a tough old day, standing on your feet all day long.
It's been a long one.
So I'll let you shoot off for the last hour or so of that. Thank you again for your time, and thanks on behalf of the ChatTalent audience for sharing a little bit about People First.
Alan, thank you.